Hi.
Hi, are you sure this course is just for 2499?
Yes, and you know this is the only course with this expertise across the world.
No way!
Yes way. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Hi.
Hi, are you sure you can prepare for product based companies through this course?
Yes, sitting at home?
No way!
Yes way. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Yes.
Hey, what do you mean by a self paced course?
Well, the course material is available in the form of video lectures. And there are multiple practice problems that come along as well. So, you can access all of it anywhere, anytime. And they are available to you for lifetime.
No way!
Oh, yes way. Don't delay and enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Hi.
Oi! So they give access to their job portal, Geeks for free?
Yes, complimentary with the course.
And you got your job through that?
Me and 15,000 others across the world.
No way!
Oh, yes ways. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another session of Dynamic Programming series and very pleased to see you all here. So today we are on the day 3 of our series and we will be solving some more questions. And can I get a quick confirmation if my voice is clearly audible? Hi Priyanshi, hi Naikaj. Let's just wait for a couple more minutes so that rest of our friends also join. And then we shall be starting at 22:05. All right, thanks Priyanshi for the confirmation. Thanks Shagun. All right, Naikaj, any issues with my voice? So basically, yesterday's class we solved some knapsack concepts. So today we will be extending that as only. We will be solving some questions that are based on the knapsack concept. And let me share my screen. All right. Okay. Is this problem with everyone? Like, is my voice not clearly audible? All right. Nagesh, maybe just you can try some reconnecting to the internet from your side. So, okay, all right, guys, we are about to start our today's session. So, before starting, let me just give a brief recapitulation of what we did in the previous session. So, like in the previous session, we discussed some knapsack concepts. All right, we solved the 0 1 knapsack problem and we solved the unbounded knapsack problem. And we started from recursive approach and then we went to the DP approach and we analyzed that how we can convert a recursive code to the DP code. So, that was there in the previous session. In today's session, what we are going to do is there are certain problems that are based on the knapsack concept. So we will be taking up those problems and we will be seeing how we can solve them. All right. So let us start with the first problem of today's, and that is subset sum problem. I'll first explain it and then we will go to the editor to run and compile our code. Okay, so this is the subset sum problem that we are going to discuss first. Now let me explain what this problem is exactly. Okay, so first of all we have a problem statement here. In problem statement, an array is given to you. All right, let us say in our case it is 334. Let me just check. So 334, 412, 52. 4, 12, 5, 2. All right, an array is given to you and the target is given to you. Okay, the target is 9. All right, so what does the question demands here is you need to find out if there exists a subset in this array which can give you a sum of 9. Okay, so the array that we have taken, in that you can see if you add sum 9 if we want. So if we do 3 plus 4 plus 2, right? So in this case, we can get the sum of 9, that is our target sum, right? So that is what the question statement is. You need to check and like we need to return true or false, all right? Return true or false. On the basis of that, if there is a subset that can give you the target sum that is given to you, all right? Both of these things will be given to you in the problem statement. Cool. And also, as it is subset, you know, it does not need to be a continuous segment of array. The subset can be a discontinuous segment. Okay, so we are taking 3 and then 4 and then 2. All right, and yeah, that is all about the problem statement. Are we clear on this part? Find if target sum exists. Okay, so this is our problem statement. All right, thanks Priyanshi. Now let us move ahead. Let us see. First of all, we are going to check how it is related to knapsack problem. All right, so the first point is it is similar to the knapsack problem that we discussed in our previous sessions. Okay, how? Because in the knapsack problem, what we were doing is we were deciding, like, if an item was there, okay, let us say this is an item N1, we were deciding that whether we are going to take this item or not take this item, right? That is what we were doing in our knapsack question. Now, in this question as well, we are deciding whether we want to include this item or not, whether we want to include this item or not, right, inside our subset. Right, we are making choices for each of the items that we have, and so this is also similar to knapsack problem. All right, and yeah, Nikesh, the solution that you are saying, that's correct, but it can like, as it is a recursive code, so it will lead to time error, runtime error it can give you, because it will give you TLE, right? So here we are going to see that how we can solve this problem with the help of knapsack problem. All right, that we discussed in the previous session, so that we can have some optimization for our code. All right, now, so is this part justified? How is it similar to knapsack problem? Is everyone justified with the explanation? Yes, Nikesh, that's the brute force approach. That's absolutely correct. All right, so now, okay, in the knapsack problem, the thing that was there was, if you remember, we took T and then this was N plus 1 and this was W plus 1, right? Where N was what? Number of items that we had. And W is what? The total weight of the knapsack. Right? So, in this question, we are going to have the same array. N is going to be here. In this question, N will be the, just a second. So here n is going to be the size of array, all right, that is number of elements, okay, similar to this, and w is going to be the total sum that is required or the target sum. Cool. So that is how we are going to form our 2D array for this question. All right. So that's how it is similar to knapsack. All you need to do is this n is the size of the array and w is the target sum that we are searching inside our array. All right. And here the total sum that we are finding, that is equal to the total weight of the knapsack that was in the knapsack question. Cool. So how this table will look like. So our sum was 9. And the array that is given to us was, check, 334, 412, 52, 334, 412, 52. That is total of 6 elements. Okay. So if you will draw the table, is there an option to draw a table here? Because I don't think I'm drawing it in a good way. Yeah, alright, we can insert a table. And the dimensions of table will be the size 7 into 10. Alright, so here it is 7, okay. And then 10. Alright. So the number of columns that we are going to have is 10, and the number of rows that we are going to have is 7. Okay. All right, and let me erase this. Okay. All right, so this is the table that we have, and all right, guys. Okay, so as you can see, this is the table that we can draw for our condition, which is the sum total is 9, and array size is 6, elements are 3. What was the 334, 4, 12, 5, 2, 3, 34, 4, 12, 5, 2. Okay, so that's why as we are making the table for n plus 1 and w plus 1, okay, so the dimensions of table will be n is 6, so it is going to be 7 cross and w plus 1 10, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Yeah, cool. So let me now number it. Okay, so this will be 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, and here it is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Clear? So this is the table that we have. Okay, so the very important cell that you should fill first is this cell. Okay, the cell at T00. All right, because as we are filling up our table in bottom up manner, so starting from this table only, you can start filling other cells as well. So that's why the first cell that we are going to fill is this cell. Okay, so now tell me if all right, that is my voice is speaking. Okay, it is breaking now. So we might have some connection issues from my side. Hey, hi Sahil, seeing you after a long time here. Okay guys, is it clear now, the voice? Or yet if it is breaking again, then do let me know. I shall reconnect to some other network. Okay, so the first cell that we are going to fill is T at 0 0. Okay, now tell me, what does T at 0 0 means? It means size of the array is 0, and the target sum that we are looking for is 0. So tell me, if an array is given to you that is of the size 0, okay, and if you need to find a target sum of 0, is it possible to have this? Can this condition be formed? Okay, breaking again. Just give me a second. Exactly, Nikes, that's correct. It's a base case. So tell me, is this possible to have this that the size of the array is 0 and the target sum that we are finding is also 0? Connected to some other network, I think it will work fine. Yeah, so it is possible. So what we can write here is, here we can fill our table as true. All right. Now let us see what we are going to fill in this first row. Okay, sorry, first column. Okay, so what does this first column is? This first column is basically, okay, so the first column is basically I is changing and this is remaining 0. Okay, now what does this first column symbolizes? It is that the size of array can be anything. Okay, let us say it is n and the target sum that we are finding is 0. Is this possible to have this combination? That whatever size of the array is given to you, you need to find a target sum of 0. Can we have this? Just think over it. Like there is always an empty subset inside an array, right? There is always an empty subset. So will that empty subset will give you a sum of 0? Clear to you all? Exactly. So that's why if it is possible for us, so what we are going to do is entire this column will be filled with true, because no matter whatever the size of the array is, if the target sum is 0, we can always have it. All right. So that's why we are going to fill it with this. Okay. Now let us move to the next condition. We are going to fill out the first row. Okay. We have filled out the first column. Now we will fill out the first row. All right. Okay. So, as what does the first row says? The first row says that size of array is going to be 0, but the target sum is going to be greater than, sorry, not equal to, the target sum is going to be greater than 0. All right. Is this possible to have this condition? When size of the array is 0 and the target sum is greater than 0, can we achieve this? Just quickly analyze this condition, that if array is given to you is like this. Okay, yeah, exactly, Nikesh, that's correct. Yes, Shagun, that's correct. So now what we are going to do is we will simply fill it out with false, right? So is this clear to you all how this first row and first column is getting filled? This first row symbolizes empty subarray. All right, and this first column symbolizes zero sum. Cool. So this is how we have filled our first row and first column. Clear to you all? Great. Now once you have filled out this rest, the way in which we are going to fill the rest of the cells, that is very similar to what we did for the knapsack problem. Okay, because for the rest of the elements of the array, okay, this 334, you are going to decide that whether you are going to take this element or not. All right, so we are going to use our knapsack concept, and let me show you the knapsack code that we wrote yesterday. All right. Okay, so knapsack 01 knapsack problem, right? We did this yesterday. Okay. So in this, what we were doing is, okay, so the base condition, if I is 0 or j is 0, right? We already covered this base condition. How? You can see in this case, we are having I as 0, and in this case we are having j as 0. Okay, so the base condition has already been covered. So now we are going to fill the rest of our table. And how we are going to do this is, here we have written if weight at I minus 1 is less than is equal to j. Now here we don't have this weight thing. All right, so what we will do here is, instead of weight we are going to write array, right? So okay, there it is written, if weight at I minus 1 is less than is equal to j. So that will get replaced by if array at I minus 1 is less than is equal to j. Okay, and in this condition what we are doing, t of ij, we were filling it with max of value of I minus 1 or whatever that we are doing. Okay, means max of whether we are getting an optimal answer by including the element or by excluding the element. Okay, so when we were including the element we were adding the value as well, but here in this subset case we don't have a value to be added. So simply what we are going to do is, we will write t of ij. If you will include the item, then what it is going to be, simply t of I minus 1, right, and j minus array at I minus 1. Okay, exactly the same thing that is there. Okay, t at I minus 1 and j minus weight at I minus 1. Okay, weight is replaced with array because in this question array is given to us. Okay, so that's what we have done. We have simply replaced, and now here we are having this max. Okay, we were checking for the max of these two, but in this case, okay, as we are filling out the table with true and false. Now what is the max of true and false? You can't use the keyword max here, right? So rather than using the keyword max, we will be using or, because or like if you will see, or will anyway give you the max of true and false, right? If one is true and if other is false, we are going to get true only. So that is giving us the max. So t of ij will be t of I minus 1 j minus array of I minus 1, or when you are not including the item, it will be simply t of I minus 1 and j. Okay, so that is how it is similar. Like we will write the code for this subset sum problem, which is similar to the knapsack. The only difference is max is replaced with this or sign. Okay, and yeah, that is the only difference that is there. Rest other things are same. Is this snippet clear how we are filling it out? This is for the if condition. Okay, if array of I minus 1 is less than j, and in else, okay, can anyone tell me if array of I minus 1 is going to be greater than j, then what we are going to fill at t of ij? If array of I minus 1 comes out to be greater than j, what we will fill at t of ij? Alright, Nikes, like just in the previous knapsack, if you remember, what we were doing was we were doing I minus 1 and j minus the weight of the current element, right? So here what you need to do is, the j is the current sum, okay, that we are using as our target. So now if you have added the current element, then you need to subtract that current element from the current sum, right? As in the previous session I have explained that if let us say this is the knapsack that is given to you, the total capacity is 10 units. Let us say if you have added an item which is of 7 units. So now what is the new capacity of the knapsack? Isn't that 10 minus 7? J is actually T at ij that we are using. I is the index value and j is the sum value, the target sum that is given to you. Alright, Nikes, the dimensions, I guess there is some confusion there. So the dimensions when we created, as you can see, this is the W, which is the total sum that we have, right? So that's why we are subtracting it from it, right? We are doing this j minus array of I minus 1, okay? This is the sum, okay? And this is the index value. Clear? Just very similar to what we did in the knapsack. In knapsack, the j was the current weight. Here, similar, j is the current sum. Okay, this is the current sum, and we are subtracting the current element from the current sum if that current element is included. Okay, please let me know if this is clear to you, otherwise I shall be explaining it again. Yeah, we are using sum as index only, because like we are saying if sum of 0 is possible or not, if sum of 1 is possible or not, if sum of 2 is possible or not, till the sum of 9. And that's why we have created this table, and then at the end we will be returning this last cell. Okay, so what will be the last cell? The last cell will tell you that with size n is equal to 6, the sum of 9 is possible or not, right? So that is how this table is getting filled. Okay, so now if you all understood this concept, please help me with this, that if the current element sum, if the current element is greater than the target sum, so what we will be adding in our matrix, how we will be filling it out? Aren't we going to fill it like this only? Not included. The item has not been included. Is this clear? Two code snippets we have. The first one is if the array of I minus 1 is less than j, it means that the current element is less than the target sum. Okay, so if it is less than the target sum, we will be simply either adding it or either not adding it. Okay, so these two things that we are doing. But if the current element is already, let us say the current element is 9 and the target sum is 5, so it is very much clear that we are not adding this current element. So when you will not add this current element, what will the Tij hold? It will simply hold I minus 1 and j. Why j? Because no any sum has been subtracted from j, right? So it will remain as it is, very much similar to what was there in the knapsack. Okay, as you can see here also we have written t of ij and t of I minus 1 j when the item was excluded. So that is what we are doing here as well. So let me know if it is clear to you. False. No, alright, you are not going to directly add false. What you'll have to do, you'll have to check that if previously this sum was present or not, right? You will simply replace it with t of I minus 1 and j. Okay, you can't fill it with a false directly. The false and true, that was there only for the first row and the first column. Rest other columns and rows are filled with the help of the previous cell. Okay. Let us say the target sum was 5. Alright. And the current element, let us say the target sum was 5 only. Alright. And the current element is 9. Let us say you have already achieved the target sum of 5. Okay. Let us say the array is like 2, 3, and then 9. Okay. So if the current element is 9, 9 is coming greater than the target sum. So now tell me, if you will directly fill the false here, is it going to give you the correct answer? Because although 9 is greater than 5, but we already have a sum 5 inside our array. So you can't directly fill it as false. Yeah, it is a Boolean matrix. It is only having a value true and false. Alright, is everyone justified with this condition? If this is how array looks like, 2, 3, 9, and target sum is 5. So although the current element is greater than 5, we will not add it. But that does not mean that you are going to fill it with false. Okay, yeah. So let me now show you the code. Okay, so yeah, Priyanshi, that what we'll be doing is we'll be checking for the previously filled values, that if previously it is already true or not. Because if it is true, then we will be returning true, right? In that way, it will be getting filled out. So this is the code that we have for subset sum problem. Let me enlarge it. Okay. So what we are doing is initially we initialize this boolean array, okay, tn plus 1 and sum plus 1, and then we just filled it. We filled the first row, then we filled the first column, and the t of 0 0 we initialized it with 1 because we know the sum 0 is always possible with an array of size 0, and then we filled the entire array, okay, with the condition that is exactly similar to what was there in the knapsack. So if there is any issue, please feel free to ask me. I'll be very happy to explain. Great. All of you can take your time to look at the code, and if there is any query, please feel free to ask. Okay, is this code clear to everyone? Please give me a quick thumbs up or +1 or confirmation in the chat if this code is clear to you all. And everyone who's watching this video, please, please, please give a like to this video. It will be very nice to all of us. So please do that. I really appreciate it. Check. And at the end, we will be returning t of n sum. Okay. So for everyone who's giving the confirmation, thanks for that. All right. So as it is clear, and thanks for confirming. So now let us move to our next question, and that is going to be partition equal subset sum. Okay, let me explain the question. All right, line number 28. Just a second. That is okay. In line number 28, what we are doing is that if the current element is less than the target sum, all right, so whether you are going to include it or whether you are not going to include it, that's up to you. So what you will do is you are checking that, like, see, in this question we just need to check that if a target sum is possible or not. Okay, so what you are going to do is you will just check that after, if the current element is less than the target sum that we have, so you just need to check that whether we are getting the target sum by adding that element or whether we are getting the target sum by not adding that element, okay, by including it or by excluding it. That's why we have added a or sign here. Okay, if in any way you are getting the target sum, then you will just insert true in that cell. So that is why this condition is there. And in the second, simply, if current element is say 10 and the target sum that you want is 6, so in that case you're not going to add that element, so you will simply not add it and you will replace the current cell with t of I minus 1 and j. All right, so that is how it is getting filled. And I would also suggest you to please have a look at the previous day's session that we have explained the knapsack condition, how we are evaluating this. This is basically a knapsack case. All right, let us now move to our next question, which is partition equal subset sum. So what does this question statement means? And thanks, Priyanshi. Partition equal subset sum. Okay, so what is going to happen here is, let us first discuss how does the problem statement will look like. An array is given to you, right? Okay, this is 1 5 11 5. Okay, so what you need to return is basically you need to return true or false depending on the condition that if array can be divided into two parts such that the sum of both parts are equal. Okay, so that is what the question statement reads, and as an answer you need to return true or false. Okay, is the problem statement clear? Okay, so I'll repeat again. What we are going to do is an array is given to you. Okay, and you need to divide the array into two subsets such that the sum of the both subsets are equal, and then on the basis of that you need to return true or false. Okay. Yeah. So in this case, what we have here is we can write 1, 5, 5 as one part and 11 as other part, and the sum is 11 for both the part. Okay, clear? Alright guys, I don't know why this issue is there. Maybe I shall reconnect again. Is it clear now? Is my voice clear now? Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. There are some network issues maybe from my side. Okay. Alright, again breaking. Or is it audible? I think it. Okay, but I think as I can check in my device, I guess it is working fine. Okay, breaking again. So let me just reconnect to some other network. Audible now? Yeah. Like I don't know if why it is happening like this. I've tried connecting to my hostel internet, and then I've tried connecting to my personal internet as well. None of it is working. Is my video also lagging, or is the issue is just with voice? Alright, voice only. Alright, guys, just give me a moment then. Screen, and let me do some certain settings. If I go to my settings and audio. Hello, voice. Is it better now somehow? It is the internet that I'm using. Okay. Better now, or are we still on the same page? Okay, so we are better now. Alright, guys, just keeping my fingers crossed that this issue does not come again. And I'll share my screen again. I'm really sorry, guys, for this issue. I'm trying my best. Okay. So, what does the problem statement read says? Okay, so let me draw a happy smiley because we are audible now. Okay, so what does the problem statement read says? The array is given to you. You need to divide it into two subsets such that the sum of the every subset is every subset is equal. All right. S1 should be equal to sub S2, and thank you so much, Nikaj. It means a lot. Okay, and let us say that sum is S. All right. So that is the problem statement, and you need to return true or false on the basis of whether this partition is possible or not. Cool. Is the problem statement clear? And also one thing you need to keep in mind is that one element can only be at one subset. Okay. Alright, also keep this in mind. It can't happen that, if there are two subsets and there is a common element in both of them, alright, one element will go to only one subset, okay? So this is what our problem statement looks like. Now, let us now move to the explanation part. Okay, so tell me, if we are going to divide an entire array into two parts, okay, and the sum must be same, what is the first condition that should be there if the sum must be same and the entire array is dividing into two parts? What will be the first condition that you will be checking for in your array? Okay, is it possible to divide this array? Okay, can you divide this array into equal subset? Into equal sum actually? Okay, and can you divide? Okay, this can be divided, that is correct. Okay, now can you divide this? 2, 4, 5, 6, 10, 17. All right. The total sum was 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay, the total sum that is coming here is 10, and here the total sum is coming here is 16, 17. Okay, so can you divide this array into equal sum? No. Why? Because sum is odd, right? So see, one thing that is always, that like we should always check, the first thing is sum of the array must be even, because if sum is odd, then it is very obvious that you can't divide it in equal partition, right? So the first thing that we need to keep in mind is that the sum of the array must be even. All right. Now let us say the sum of the array is S. Okay, so one of the subset will have S by 2 and S by 2, right? This is the two sum that we are going to have. So like let us suppose if um, if let us say the sum of the array is 10, and so the subset should have some 5 and 5. Okay, so if you will check that if inside your array if sum 5 is present, then it is very obvious that sum of the other subset will be 5 only, right? If let us say the total sum is 26, no, means one element should be even, the entire sum should be even, right? If there are odd elements and if they are also occurring even number of times, then that will also give an even sum, right? So we this is not a necessity that element should be even, the total sum should be even. Okay, so let us say if it is 26 and if one subset is having a sum 13, then it is obvious that other subset will definitely have the sum as 13 only. So isn't this problem is getting reduced to find if one element, yeah, one element should always be there in one subset. Okay, you need to use all the elements, right? Find if target sum of s by 2 exists or not. Is this clear how we reach to this? Like this equal sum partition problem, is that statement getting reduced to find if target sum of s by 2 exists or not? Because if one sum, like we are dividing it into two subsets, so if one sum is s by 2, so it is very obvious the other sum is going to be s by 2 only, right? And these two are going to be equal only, right? I mean, if one is s by 2 and other will also, so not s minus s by 2, it will be also s by 2. Okay, so and we just did the question of target sum, right? So here also we are going to call the function target sum. Okay, call the function target sum where the target sum is s by 2. Is this clear to you all? Just try to analyze this very properly, and if you are not able to build the intuition, do let me know, I shall explain it again. Is this clear why minimum sum partition is getting reduced to the question to find the target sum where the target sum is s by 2? No any hurry, all of you can take your time to and properly develop this intuition. Okay, all right, Shagun, thanks for the confirmation. Rest others, please do give me a quick +1 or a thumbs up in the chat so that I can show you the code for this. Okay, thanks, Priyanshi. Okay. Okay, thanks, Naikaj. All right. So let me now show you the code. The code is not difficult because we have already, thanks, Pinal. So we have already done this question of the subset sum. So this is exactly the subset sum question. Okay, as you can see, this is exactly the same code, right? That was there here. Okay. Sorry. All right, so it is exactly the same code that we have written there. Okay, and the only difference is, first of all, we are finding out the sum of the entire array. All right, and if the sum is not even, then simply return false from here only. You do not need to proceed ahead. And if the sum is coming out to be even, then divide the sum into 2 and check if the that half of the sum is present inside the array or not. Okay, because if half of the sum is present, then the rest of the array will be having another half. It means both of them will be having the same sum, and thus we will be returning true. Okay, let me now enlarge the code editor. And yes, okay, see, this part is exactly the same as the previous. Okay, to calculate the subset sum, I want you all to focus on this section, and if there is any issue, please let me know. Or even if it is clear, then please give a quick +1 or thumbs up in the chat section. Okay, so like we just had tried to derive that how this question is very similar to the target sum question only, the subset sum question. Okay, both of the question were having different problem statements, but at the end we need to find only one thing. Okay, so this is the one thing that we are finding, that whether a subset is present which is having a certain target sum or not. Okay, now you need to figure out that what that target sum is which you want to have inside the array. Okay, that you need to figure out. All right, so that is about this question. Thanks Pinal, thanks Miral, thanks Shagun. Okay, so it feels nice to see that you people are able to grasp the concept. Okay, so shall we move ahead to our next question? Okay, Nikaj, so you are saying that if first element is 5, then first sum is 5. Or we check even or not, then it's return 0. Okay, I didn't get your question correctly actually. But what I am understanding from your question is, on the basis of that, what we are doing is we are first finding the sum of all the array elements. And if the sum is odd, then we are returning 0 here only. Okay, because we are not going to proceed ahead if the sum is already like even, sorry, odd. Okay, you can't divide 5 into 2 equal parts, right? But you can divide 10 into 2 equal parts. Okay, all right everyone, so I think we are clear. Okay, let us now move to our next question, which is basically the target sum question. Okay, now okay, let me explain the question. This is the third and the last question of today's session, and yet again very similar to the subset. Okay, what you can say is all of these questions, parent question was subset sum problem only. Okay, in subset sum problem we were finding that whether a certain sum exists inside an array or not. All right, and in the minimum sum in the equal sum partition we checked that again the same thing, that whether a certain sum exists inside an array or not, and that certain sum was half of the sum of the array. Here as well we will be checking that if a certain value, okay, again breaking, so let's just reconnect to some other network again. Better now? Okay, thanks. So it is better. So happiness. All right. So in target sum, what is going to happen is, if you look at the problem statement, okay, better than before means not perfectly good yet. So let us say an array is given to you. Let us say it is 2, 1. All right, and the target is given to you. Okay, and let us say the target is 1. All right, so what you are going to do is, I am speaking. Okay. Is there any improvement now? I apologize for it, Rish. I don't know. No, like it was working fine till yesterday. I don't know why there is issue today. Is it better now or if it is still the same? Still the same. Okay, let me. Any improvements now? I will just read the comments. Voice is breaking, still same. Previous connection was better. Restart the live, maybe then issues solve. Are all of these voice again breaking? Like no improvements? Alright guys, then just give me 5 minutes. Hi guys, do I sound better now? I tried to reconnect. Alright, great. Sorry guys, I don't know why, but thanks for whoever gave the advice to restart. Okay, Rish, thanks, it worked. Alright, so eraser. Thanks, Rish. Okay, and we are again happy. So we can have this again. Alright guys, so the problem statement is going to say is an array is given to you and the target is given to you. Okay, what you need to do is insert plus and minus, okay, these two signs in such a way that this array can give you this target sum, right? So that is what the question says. And yes, Rish. Okay, so you just need to check that in how many ways return the number of different expressions. Okay, what can be the number of different expressions that we can have such that you can have the target of 3. Okay, so let us just say here we have 1 1 1 1 1 5 times and the target that we want is 5. So as you can see, you can make this array equal to 3 in these 5 ways, okay, by inserting the symbol of plus and minus, right? So that is what the question demands. Now let us, okay, is the problem statement clear? We need to insert plus and minus signs such that the array becomes equal to the target, okay, and you need to find out the total number of ways in which this can be done, total number of ways in which you can add the sign, okay. So is the problem statement clear to you all? Now let us say if the array is 5, 7, 8, 2, 26, 4, 30. Okay, and let us say the signs that we are introducing it here, we have added plus, plus, minus, plus, minus, minus. So basically what we have in plus is, okay, what we have plus, we have 5, 7, 8, 2, and then with minus sign we have we have 2 with the minus sign, 4 with the minus sign, and 13 with the minus sign, okay. So these are the two subsets that we are forming. So is this the thing that if each one of this is having a plus sign, if each one of this is having a minus sign, so is this a thing that when you will divide the subset into two, we are here as well, we are dividing the subset into two parts, one with the plus sign and one with the minus sign, and basically whatever will be the difference of these two subsets, that should be our target that is given in the question. Is this logic clear to you all? Exactly, choose either plus and minus, and then after choosing plus and minus, the entire array will get divided into two sections, into two subsets, right? One with the plus sign, one with the minus sign. And when you will evaluate this, like, you know, like 5 plus 7 plus 8 minus 2, that is like, you know, minus 4. So basically what we are doing, we are adding all of the plus symbol, we are adding all of the minus symbol, and then we are subtracting them, right? So is this logic clear that after subtracting, whatever value you are going to get, that should be equal to the target sum? Because obviously if you are, yeah, it is a DP problem. So is this logic clear that why it is going to be a DP problem? Like what exactly we are doing here, is it clear to you all? Okay, based on what we will choose plus or minus, that we will write a code for it, right? I mean, we will be checking that if by adding plus you are getting a target sum or not, or by adding minus you are getting a target sum or not, right? So that is basically the question statement that we are going to work on. The logic that I'm trying to explain you here is, see, array is given, okay, 5, 7, 8, 26, 4, 3, 2. Okay, let us say you have added the symbols as 5 is plus, 7 is minus, minus, plus, plus, minus, plus. Okay, so okay, 5 minus 7 minus 8 plus 26 plus 4 minus 3 plus 2, right? And if you will do as 5 plus 26 plus 4 plus 2 minus 7 plus 8 plus 3. Okay, are these two calculations will give you the same result? This calculation and this calculation, is it going to give you the same result? (26, 30, 2, 537), right? 8, 11, 7, 18. Okay, clear? So what we are going to do is, after adding this plus and minus, and basically we are dividing our entire subarray into two subsets, okay, and the condition is that the difference of these subsets difference of subset sum should be equal to target, because this is our point, right? That when you are adding this plus minus, after that you should get the target. Okay, it means after this thing also you are going to get the target. So does that mean that difference of subset sum is going to give you the target? Is this point clear? That difference of subset sum is going to give you the target. Is this logic clear? Let us say this is S1, let us say this is S2. So what I'm saying is S1 minus S2 is going to give us the target. Okay, is this thing clear? Okay, it is a very famous DB problem actually, so that's why we are discussing it. Do I have a stream here? Hi Siddharth, are you sure you are in need of this session? Okay, so the difference of the subset is going to give us the target and the sum of the subsets. Okay, can anyone help me with this? What we are going to, okay, who make this kind of problem? Like, as in on GFG portal, or like in general, who make this kind of problems? In GFG, we have problem setters, so we are making this kind of problems. And there is a reason why they are known as problems. Okay, again, voice breaking. In general, just to enhance the problem solving skills, people keep on coming with, certain questions, certain problems that they want to solve, so that you can develop your problem solving logic and you can use these small problems to solve some larger problems. So maybe that's why these questions are getting framed. All right, everyone, please help me with this. What we will have for S1 plus S2. If S1 minus S2 is going to give you the target, what you will get for S1 plus S2. All right, as for my LinkedIn, you can search for Suniti. Come on, guys, that this is very easy. What if you have two subset? One is S1 and another is S2. So what? Not again. Hi everyone. Are there any improvements now? I tried rejoining. All right, so now every time voice is going to break, I'll just rejoin. Okay, and actually this is our last question only, so your time will not be wasted. So like, okay, so S1 minus S2 is going to give us the target. So can you please tell me what S1 plus S2, like if there is an entire array and you are dividing it into two subsets, one subset is having a sum of S1 and another subset is having the sum of S2. So what does S1 plus S2 will give? It is very easy. I think all of you should figure it out. What S1 plus S2 is going to give. Okay, S1 plus S2 is going to give us the sum of array. Are these two equations clear? Yes, total sum, exactly. Okay. Are these two equations clear to you all? Now, if we will evaluate these two equations, so we are going to get 2S1 is equal to target difference plus sum. So basically S1 is whatever target that is given in the question plus sum of the array divided by 2. Is this clear? Let me know if it is clear or not, and then I shall be giving it a happy mark or then a sad mark. Is this point clear to you all? Let us know if it is going to get a happy expression or sad expression. Clear, okay? So happy. Oops, I guess we are sad again. Okay, am I sounding better now? Okay, like this is just a very last concept. I mean, the only thing, the only like, oh, please let me know if this is clear to you all. This S1 thing. Or like if my voice was breaking, I shall repeat it again. What I just said, that S1 minus S2 is going to give us the target, and S1 plus S2 will be the sum of the entire array, right? And now when you will solve this, you will get S2 S1 as target difference plus the sum, okay? And now S1 is going to be target plus sum divided by 2, just a basic maths, okay? All right, so basically if you can find out if a target sum of S1 exists, then it means that if target sum of S1 exists or not, that is going to be our answer basically, right? We can just basically find out that what in how many ways we can form the target sum of S1, okay? And we know how to form a target sum. That was our first question of the day, right? So is this clear how again this problem is getting reduced to just find if inside an array you can form a target sum of S1? Because if you have S1, the other part is going to be S2, and that S1 minus S2 will give you the difference. right? Because we have calculated it in our this calculation part, and now we saw that we just need to find if S1 exists inside the sub-array or not. Clear? So is this equation clear to you all? And again, is this clear how this problem is again getting reduced to find a target sum? Like to find the subset sum of S1 or not? Our first question was the subset sum, all right? And then our second question was the to find equal sum. Okay, and equal sum we were checking for a subset sum with some M. Okay, and here also we are checking for a subset sum with some S1. Okay, and what is this S1 that we calculated with the help of the equations? Okay, is it clear? All right, let me now show you the code quickly. So this is the code for our target sum. All right, as you can see, the upper this section is exactly the same of what we did in the previous two codes. The only difference is rather than adding an or sign in the line number 35, okay, just add the plus sign. Okay, why plus sign? Because we are finding the total number of ways. Okay, so you can just add a plus sign to see in how many ways it can be formed. If it would have been to just check if the subarray exists or not, then in that case you can add an or sign. But if you need to find the total number of ways, then in that case you need to add a plus sign. Okay, so you can add just a plus sign. So that's the only difference. And then from line number 45 to line number 56, please have a look there. And if there is any issue, do let me know. And this is the last question that we have for today. Please everyone have a look at this code. And if there is any issue, please let me know. And also I want you all to develop an intuition on how all the questions were based on the same concept only. We just needed to find that how they're related to each other. Okay, so yeah, is this code clear? Everyone can please give me a quick +1 or thumbs up in the chat section. All right, guys, as I can see, there are some friendly chats that are going on in the chat section, and that is great. But then can I please know if this code is clear to you all? All right, thanks, Rish. Thanks, Miral. All right, everyone. So these are the three questions that we discussed today. One was subset sum problem, other is the partition equal subset sum, and the other was the target sum. In each of the questions, the main function was the same, that we were finding that if a certain sum exists inside this array or not. Okay, the only difference was in this part, that you need to figure out that which sum you are exactly looking for. Okay, so here and here we were looking for half the sum. All right, and this is the subset sum, which is kind of the parent problem, you can say, for today's session. And in the next week's session, we will be doing the questions based on LCS, that is the longest common substring and longest common subsequence. So do join us in the next session as well. And if there is any feedback, anything that you want to share, please let me know in the chat section. Or if we are good with everything that was there in today's session, then all right, guys, next Thursday and Friday, both the days. So these sessions will be taking place every Thursday and Friday at 10 p.m. Okay, so all right, guys, thanks for joining and keep up the hard work, and thanks for following this series. If there is any feedbacks, anything, you can add it in the chat section and we will be working on it. Thanks everyone. Take care, stay safe, and Good night, everyone.